This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of our live recordings from the FMCA rally, where we sit down with Fantasy RV Tours and Roadmaster. You will hear the faint sounds of golf carts and even a helicopter at one point. This should really put you in the mindset of being at the show live, listening to us at the event. So without any further ado, let's get this episode started. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to day 2 of the FMCA rally for our show. Today, we are joined with Nel. Nel is the CEO and founder of Fantasy RV Tours. And this is actually Nel's second time being on the show. So this is great for Sean and I to actually meet her in person because, as you know, a lot of our episodes are through Zoom and online. So Nel, thanks for meeting us in person today and joining us here at the FMCA rally.
My pleasure.
So Nel, just for people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Fantasy RV?
Yes, Fantasy RV Tours offers guided RV vacations in Alaska, Canada, USA, overseas. And we've been doing this for about 31 years now.
Nice.
So we feel like we have something to offer for everyone, from a 6-day rally to a 60 days overseas tour or a tour to Alaska. And it's a full service experience where all an RVer needs to do is just show up. We've done all the reservations, the campgrounds. If you're planning an extended trip, say for 30 to 60 days, you've got a lot of campground reservations to make, and that can be difficult these days, getting in high demand campgrounds. And folks really enjoy the convenience of just showing up. All the planning is done. They don't have to think about anything. You know, there's when a couple travels together, there's usually a planner. Yeah. And there's a yes dear person. And the planner doesn't have to do the work, and the yes dear doesn't have to say, oh, yes dear, and pretend they're happy even if the experience isn't very good. So we take care of all of that. We take the stress out of planning your trip of a lifetime.
I think you even plan out meals and locations for restaurants and foods as well. Is that correct?
Yes. Say on a caravan that is 30 days, we might have 17 or 18 meals, but they are special meals. They're not just, to feed people. It's a regional cuisine, usually entertainment, something that's, or with a view, something that's very special. And then all of the can't miss things in any particular place. We have a motor coach bus that will pick up our group, go out to all the points of interest, whether it's monuments or maybe we're going to go see the bears, whatever sightseeing in any particular location. That's all included in the tour.
Okay. And we're here in beautiful Tucson at the FMCA Convention. And you guys have been partners with FMCA for a long time, I think. Is that right?
Yes. It's been about almost 12 years now.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
And so if people come to not only this FMCA event, but other FMCA events, what can they expect from Fantasy RV Tours as far as when they come here?
Well, at the FMCA conventions, the national conventions, and also the area rallies, we always have a booth, or we'll have several booths. Here we have 4 booths, and in our booth, we've set up a theater in there with a big screen TV and chairs, so that if someone wanted to see what it's like to go touch a whale in Baja, or see the bears in Alaska, or go to Mardi Gras, we can show them a video of the real experience.
Okay.
Excuse me. Today we have 3 seminars.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yep, 3 seminars on Baja, Alaska, and Grand East Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And for somebody to go see these seminars, is there a sign up? If they're listening right now, can they just show up for it?
They can just show up 10:30 this morning. We're going to talk about the whales in Mexico's Baja Peninsula. and that's in Seminar 3, right
Okay.
behind us. This building right here, and the Seminar 3 is like right there.
Okay.
And this afternoon, we have one at 1 o'clock, and then we have Alaska at 2:30, caravanning to
okay.
Alaska. Tomorrow, we have 2 more. And on Saturday, we have a seminar on the Mississippi River Road,
Nice.
taking your RV from northern Minnesota, following the beautiful Mississippi River all the way down to New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds like a fun trip, actually.
And we give great door prizes away.
Oh,
At
that's-
Alaska this afternoon, we're giving away a $250 fuel card.
Wow.
And same tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we will give away a free RV vacation
Wow.
at our Mississippi River Road seminar. That's at 10:30 Saturday morning.
Wow.
Seminar 3 right
These are some
here.
awesome
Wow.
prizes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, can I talk about some more prizes?
Yes,
Sure,
absolutely.
Tomorrow night at the Main Stage Entertainment here at 7:30, we will be giving away an RV vacation for 2. You have to be present to win. Everybody attending will have a chance to win, and that's tomorrow night, Main Stage, 7:30.
Wow. Kenny and I will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My wife and I are actually taking a trip with you guys in, what is it, Albuquerque for the Balloon Festival
Yes.
this late September, maybe early
Yes,
October?
it's like the 1st of October.
1st of
for
October.
the Balloon Fiesta. You going for 5 days or 7?
Oh, boy.
You
Now
don't
you're
know?
asking me tough questions.
Okay, it's all right. I'll ask the wife.
Yeah, you have to ask Sabrina.
He's the yes dear
I'm the
person.
yes dear person.
Okay,
She told me
got
how
it.
long we were going for, which one we were doing.
Okay.
But what we found very interesting was from the last time we talked to you is that when sometimes to put the guest in the middle of the action, you guys will set up a temporary campsite using generators and things like that to really elevate the experience.
Yes, yes. Such as the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta or Calgary Stampede and several other locations where there's these big festivals. And it's so hard to get a convenient campground. And yes, you might be able to get a campground outside of town, but the traffic is so bad it can take you an hour and a half each way to get there. So we build a campground. In Calgary, we have the McMahon Sports Stadium parking lot. We bring in water, electric, and a honey wagon, and we build a campground. Same with Albuquerque. So many people go to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, and they might go with their RV club or go on their own, but they don't have hookups at dry camping.
Yeah.
So we do the same there. We have generators, water, and a honey wagon dump, and we have a huge hospitality tent where we have our entertainment, we have socials, catered meals, and it's right there, right adjacent to the balloon field. And then we have a shuttle that takes everybody across over to the balloon field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're so excited about this. We've been counting
Yeah.
down the days.
Awesome. This
then-
year, right?
It's this year.
All right,
Yeah.
great.
And then you also have international trips, which I find fascinating. Can you just mention a little bit about those?
Yes. We go overseas to Africa. We do a South Africa RV safari, and you'll be going through all the national parks and game preserves in your own little 22-foot motorhome. And then we have other game drives there that we're in the vehicle for the game drive. And that particular tour is 33 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then we go to Australia, New Zealand, the Outback. Those are so popular.
Yeah.
In the Outback, we do the real Outback. We're in Alice Springs, and we go to Ayers Rock, and it's just fantastic. That's a seminar this afternoon at 1 o'clock
Okay.
here.
Okay.
And when you do overseas tours, how does that? Because you're still RVing, but the people fly there. How are they getting an RV? How are they traveling with you?
Good question. We have a fleet of RVs ready and waiting. Folks fly in. We do check into a hotel for a couple of nights to get rested up and get used to the time difference. And then on the second day, we pick up our little home on wheels, and we have orientation, and then we start traveling throughout the country and seeing all the highlights.
So you guys are taking care of the RV rental part of it as
Yes.
well. That's included in the
Yes,
package.
and the RVs are fully equipped with bedding and dishes and coffee maker, all of the linens, and we take care of the insurance. In Africa, we also include a cell phone, an African cell phone. Each of our guests get, and then we have an African tail gunner who speaks 7 dialogues. He's a mechanic, and he can fix anything in the middle of nowhere. And it's just a great experience.
Boy, you guys have thought of it all
Yeah,
for these
yeah.
trips.
Well, my saying is you do something long enough, you get really good at it. And we've been doing this a long time, but it's still fun. Myself, my family, and my staff still have so much passion for the RV community, and this is the fun stuff. Yes, you've got to buy some kind of an RV, a camper, whatever it is, but you don't buy it to put it in storage or sit in the driveway. And you don't necessarily, most people don't buy it to just go south for the winter and just sit seasonally for 3 months.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but people really, most people got their RV to go see the world.
Yes.
And we make it convenient and affordable for the RV community. We've taken over 70,000 RVers on their trip of a lifetime.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They really do sound like trips of a lifetime, or like once in a lifetime trips. Some of these trips are just absolutely amazing.
Some can be life-changing, like feeding at a rescue. Our Africa tour just got back, and we have photos of our guests feeding baby orphaned lions, feeding them a bottle.
Wow.
Babies.
Wow.
Yeah, life-changing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Now, I did notice yesterday when we were inside the exhibit hall, and you guys had a nice crowd around there, around your big booth area. So how far in advance do people generally have to book a tour to be able to join?
Well, it depends on the tour. If it's Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, if you're not booked about 1.5 years out, you won't get on. This year, we're all sold out with a waiting list. We're close to being sold out for 2023. Alaska's been sold out with a standby list for way over a year. Same with the Canadian Maritime. So it just depends on the tour, but if you really need to book 1 year in advance, and sometimes people cancel because our cancel policy is liberal, and you might be able to get on at the last minute.
Okay. But early is the name of the game.
That's right.
Okay.
And are there... Oh, sorry, Kenny.
I was going to say, for those people that are making reservations, being here at the FMCA Club and the rally, do members get a discount through FMCA if they want to book a trip? Okay.
We always have very generous discounts for FMCA member because we are the official travel partner with FMCA. And then by making your reservation here at the show, we have very deep additional discounts for FMCA members.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So they can actually book right here at the show.
Yes, they can make their reservation at the booth or in the seminar. And this is where people come. People that come to these a lot, they know they can save bucks.
Oh,
and
okay.
we've got
Smart.
some great deals.
So that's why there was a big crowd there yesterday. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So what are the most popular trips that you guys have or have had in the past or you think are upcoming?
Well, as I mentioned, Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, Alaska, Pasadena Rose Parade, Mardi Gras, so many of them.
And do you have multiple Alaska tours or is there just one?
Yes.
Okay.
This year we are running 12.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All different lengths or?
Yes, they'll range from 50 days all the way up to 62 days.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Different departure dates. They all depart in either June or July.
Okay. So you're there in the warmest parts of
Yes.
Alaska months, I guess.
Yes.
But, that's great. And do you drive the whole Alaska Highway?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the thrill of it.
Yeah.
The Alaska Highway, and then also most of our tours, all but 2 of them, go over the top of the World Highway, and that's a fabulous experience.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm going to have to put this on my list, too. I've never
Yeah.
been to Alaska, so we'll have to take that trip with you guys, too.
That's Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta and Alaska are usually the very first thing that an RVer wants to do when they decide to travel this way. Then Canadian Maritimes. And those who, over half of our guests who go to, say, South Africa with us, they also go to Australia, New Zealand, and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then you also have some very popular Mexico trips as well.
Yes. Whale watching, as I mentioned, you get to touch a baby whale. We have a Taste of Mexico in Puerto Penasco at Rocky Point. That's basically an 8-day beach party. And then we have a new one called Baja Wine and Dine. It's about 60 miles south of, say, San Diego, near Ensenada. And there's a new developed, for about the last 20 years, wine region there, the Guadalupe wine region. Oh. And we call it the best kept secret in northern Baja. The wine, it's fantastic. So many gourmet restaurants, famous chefs from all over the world have opened all of these like boutique restaurants that coincide with the winery. What a great experience that is.
Yeah.
And 7 days.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Great experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you do a trip, say, Alaska, and it's a 50-day caravan trip, is it everybody's traveling together from start to finish? Is there different set-off times? How does how does the conventional drive go, I guess?
Well, that's a good question, Kenny.
Okay.
And we meet, say, for example, we're going to Alaska. Most of our Alaska tours start in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or Ferndale, Washington. We rendezvous there. We have a day and a night together with a welcome dinner and orientation. And then we take off the next day to begin our journey. The wagon master leaves first on a travel day, and usually you don't want to travel with the wagon master because they're going straight to the RV park.
Oh, okay.
And the best part of some of these tours is your travel day. So you want to travel slow, pull off and have a coffee at a viewpoint, see the animals. There's so much to see along the way, and you just don't want to be in a hurry. And usually 2 or 3 RVs will leave together, or you can leave on your own. Whenever you want to leave, it's your vacation. And most of our guests leave an hour or 2 after the wagon master. And then the tail gunner is the last one to leave the RV park, so that in case there's an emergency, either perhaps a health emergency or a breakdown, the tail gunner is there to help you or to get you the help that you need. So we're spread out over 2 or 3 hours on a travel day.
Okay.
We call it scattered traveling, not caravanning, convoy travel. It's my favorite saying is it's not an incarceration tour. It's not like get in your rig and drive and then spend the night and keep going and do what the wagon master tells you. You have the freedom to do what you want. It's your vacation.
There's a lot of flexibility with that then.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the wagon master and tail gunner, I assume, are experienced fantasy RV tour folks that kind of know the ropes as far as the travel goes.
Yes. Our tour leaders and assistants have all been customers first.
Okay.
That's a requirement.
Okay.
And then they go to classroom training for about 4 days. And then they go out on a training tour where they might be an assistant or they could be a tail gunner, we call them. And they usually go on that route 2 or 3 times before they become a wagon master.
Okay.
So our training program is we feel is very good.
Yeah, so people should feel very confident in going on these tours that they're in good hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know Sean asked you what are some of the most popular ones. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I do, and I've mentioned it like 3 times already. It's the whale watching.
It is, okay.
The mama whales come to this lagoon and have their babies, and then they stay there for 3 or 4 months, and they're so friendly that the mamas come right up to the boat, bring their babies up. We get to touch them. If you want to kiss a mother whale on the head, you can.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite.
So if people aren't here at the convention, but are very interested in checking out the tours and maybe even possibly booking a tour, what's the best way for people to do that?
Go on our website, fantasyrvtours.com, or call our 800 number, which is on the website as well, fantasyrvtours.com.
Okay, and you have descriptions of everything on
Yes,
there. Yeah.
and of course we're on Facebook. Our Facebook posts from Africa the last 2 weeks, just top notch. The wildlife, the Big Five game, fantastic.
And then when somebody calls, should they mention that they're a FMCA member?
Oh yes,
Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
to get their discount.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
And then one thing I think we talked about last time we had you on that I was really impressed with was the guidebooks that you guys have that go along with the tours.
Yes, I wish I would have brought one.
Yeah.
We have one over at the booth. We provide what we call a trip log, and it's literally almost mile by mile, turn by turn that you can follow, and it's actually more accurate, our guests tell us, than a GPS, and we update it constantly. So
Okay.
it's very valuable to have that.
And you get that as part of the tour.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So we still have a little bit of time left now, and I'm interested, and maybe our viewers are interested as well. You're the CEO, the founder. What made you want to create Fantasy
Oh,
RV
gosh.
Tours?
Well, of course, the love of travel that probably most people have. And I grew up in an RV family, and my parents joined FMCA back in the late 70s, and it was a way of life for our family. And as a young adult, we bought an RV, and the kids went off to college, and we put the house up for sale, stuff in storage, and off we went for an adventure to Mexico for a year. And we did all the research and development to start the tour that first year. Then we expanded to Mexico, Canada, Alaska, and overseas. But we saw a niche back at that time where there was a big gap. That was about in the late 80s, about 1990. It's like, gosh, there's this gap. There's a couple of caravan companies doing it. And so at about the fifth year, we were the largest RV tour company in the world.
Wow, incredible.
We grew fast. It was the right time to come in.
Yeah.
You know, everything's about timing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you said your family were FMCA members, so you were able to transfer that number, I assume, to you or maybe
Yes.
another sibling.
Yes, I after my father passed away, and the former president of FMCA several years ago, Charlie Adcock, said, well, Nell, you can get your dad's number. And so they transferred it. So my number is like 38,113D. The D's for daughter.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's probably-
my I know that's making my mom and dad very happy in heaven.
Yeah, and
very
you're
nice.
that's probably one of the lowest numbers here, I would imagine.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. I'm like 544,000, I think, or
Yes.
something like that. Some astronomical number. So,
And Fantasy RV Tours has been a commercial member since 1991.
oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's great. Is there anything else you want to highlight while we have you here?
Well, for those of you who are here at the grounds, it's a great location. Sunny, beautiful day. Come in and see us and dream about where you want to travel next. Come to our seminars. You'll win a door prize or two. And it's just great to be here. We love this location in this time of year in
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah, and it's a great crowd here. We're really surprised by how
Yes.
many folks are here, and we look forward to talking to you again. And you'll see Kenny and I at one of those seminars for sure.
Great. It was great being on your podcast again. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much.
Take
Nell.
care.
Thank you, Nell.
Bye-bye.
With the complexity of all the systems in an RV, I always say it's not if something's going to break, but a matter of when is something going to break. That is why I think an extended warranty for RVs is so important. We first interviewed wholesale warranties back in 2019 and immediately became impressed with how their policies worked, such as you can take your RV to any licensed repair shop, including mobile repairs. They also have personalized service plans, making sure you are getting the right policy for your needs. And if you think your RV is too old for a policy, You might be surprised to hear that RVs up to 20 years old can still be approved for a policy. That is more age lenient than most RV parks I've stayed at. Go to wholesalewarranties.com/beyond the wheel or click the link down below in our show notes to get your free quote today. Hey everybody, we're back with part 2 for day 2 here at the FMCA rally. We are joined by Mark with Roadmaster, and we're just going to turn it right over to him right away. We're going to...
Well, fantastic. I appreciate you guys inviting me to do this with you. It's a great day, great weather out here. If you're not here, come on out. It's a great show. But let's kick it off. You guys can start with some questions, and I'll do my best.
Yeah, so let's get started with that you're Mark with Roadmaster.
That's
and
right.
What is your role at Roadmaster?
I am a factory representative. So I am a Northeast factory representative. I cover the territory from Kentucky up to Maine. My purpose, I'm kind of a customer satisfaction specialist. My purpose is to ensure that the customers are satisfied with the product that they got, but also to ensure that all the dealers in my territory are trained properly to do the installation proper, and they don't wind up with any headaches. If they do, I jump in and help out. That's my job.
You're a problem solver.
Let's say yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes a problem creator.
Okay.
Solver sounds pretty good right now.
So I think you're most known for your tow bars.
That's correct.
Can you talk a little bit about your tow bars,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
the different kinds and what all's involved in the tow bar?
The tow bars. We've got several tow bars. We've been doing tow bars since the mid-'80s when in full production. They were custom made before there for the brackets and all that. But we've been doing tow bars. We've got several models, from inexpensive models around $500-$600 up to about $1,200. The new Nighthawk with LED lighting on it. The thing about our tow bars, they're built for quality. They're built to last. We have tow bars out there that have been out on the road longer than any other manufacturer by 2-to-1 margin.
Okay.
The product's built with quality built into it. You know, we do that for the customer to exceed their expectation of what they're actually paying for. We know what their purpose of doing a tow bar is, but we build a product that actually meets or exceeds their expectations, and we like to do that.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say something real quick too, because you said that, I called you a problem solver, but right before we got on here, you said that you have 20 techs here at the FMCA rally.
That's correct.
And a lot of them are going around without even owners knowing and checking their tow bars to make sure that they look good and that everything's in good shape. I mean, they're trying to maybe even catch a problem before it starts, but that I think that shows just how much you want your customers to be happy.
Absolutely. The one thing about Roadmaster, and this comes from the philosophy of the owner of the company, it's all about the customer. You know, if we didn't have these customers out here, there's no reason for Roadmaster to exist. If we didn't have a quality product, we wouldn't have the customers out here. It's our responsibility to make sure that our customers are safe and they get a product that's doing what they expect it to do. So when we've been doing the FMCA rallies for almost 3 decades. I think it's closer to 4 decades that we've been doing the international rallies. And when we come to these rallies, we bring a service crew with us. And like you said, we have 20 technicians over there. We got a crew of about 5 to 7 people inside that are answering questions and helping the customers decide, what they want to do or what products they want to go with. But when we come to these rallies, we go around the entire campground and look for our products installed. We learn so much from seeing what the real world does to our products, and we gain so much information that is well worth our time. And that's a free service to our customer. It's not so much the free service to the customer, it's more for the knowledge that we gain from that ensures that those customers are going to be safe with our products. And that's of the utmost importance to Jerry Edwards, the owner of Roadmaster.
And you guys also, so going back to the tow bars, you also make the base plates for the vehicles as well.
Absolutely. We do more than just the tow bars and base plates, but we do, let's say the Maverick is one of the latest ones that we came out with, the new Maverick Ford. It's a hybrid, and we have the base plate. Now it takes about 4 weeks to develop. Once we get the unit in to size it up for what we're going to be able to do as far as a base plate, it takes about 4 weeks to come up with a design, have it go through our engineering department, which actually uses what's called FEA, or finite element analysis, on these products. So we can engineer, we can design the product on a computer, we can simulate stresses to our design on that computer, and then add gussets or add stuff to clean up any weak spots. So that's all done prior to it coming out with a prototype and then going into mass production. So it's all tested way before that. And that whole process takes about 4 weeks after we get the vehicle in. Now, there's a lot of factors that play in that because sometimes we can't get the vehicles we're looking for. But in that case, what we'll do is we put it on our website, say, hey, we're looking for this vehicle or that vehicle. If you have it, come on out to the factory, we'll design it on your vehicle, and we'll actually give you that after we're finished with your vehicle.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Maverick's going to be a very popular tow vehicle with the fuel mileage it gets, with the bed in the back. I'm really surprised, actually, that you guys were able to get that turned around, and because it's a very new. Yeah.
Yes, it's a relatively new.
That's great.
Business. So we have good, strong relationships, but obviously, you guys know as well as I do, the limited capacity or limited availability of vehicles right now makes it tough to have the dealers send us one or one extra for us to do. So that slows the process down a little bit.
Yeah, so that was one of our questions, actually, was how long after a vehicle comes out, and it sounds like it just varies on how quick you're able to get your hands on it.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's almost like I was Hillary Clinton. I got the questions beforehand, right? But anyway.
So what other products besides the tow bars and base plates does Roadmaster offer for RVers?
That's a great question. Most people know us for our tow bars, but a huge part of our business is our suspension products. We have anti-sway bars that make most people are convinced that they get a bus like this or a large motorhome, it's going to drive like a truck. It's going to drive like a dump truck.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be a friendly vehicle. Our suspension products, a reflex steering stabilizer, the anti-sway bars, improve the ride so much it almost feels like you're Suburban now. Instead of, it takes out the body roll and the dog wagging its tail as you're driving down the road and the wind shear and all that. We have products that are designed and engineered to improve that rideability to prevent the customer from getting Fatigue, yeah. Driver fatigue while you're driving. Which,
that makes sense.
Driving this thing and you're doing this all the way down the road and you're battling the wind and the trucks passing, you get tired after a while. Our products improve the ride and the handability.
One cool thing I saw in there in your display was the cover that goes over kind of the tow bar.
Our tow defender.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's awesome. It prevents probably 80% of what would reach a rock guard that you can mount on the front. We actually manufacture one of those as well. But the tow defender is a blanket that runs between the coach and the car. So anything coming under that hits this blanket. It's a dead spot on that blanket and it just drops down and goes under the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it never gets high enough to even hit your grill or the windshield or anything else. And like you say, it doesn't stop everything. Not that it's not possible, but this stops about 90% of what would normally go high enough for a rock guard to hit.
Is that a new product, or have you guys had
We've
that
had it for a couple of years now.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen it before. We were impressed by that yesterday.
Very good product. If you want to save your toad from getting all of the chips and dings and road grime, it's a perfect product for it.
And does that work with any tow vehicle? If you had a Maverick, if you had a car?
It'll work with any tow bar. It mounts to the tow bar.
Oh, it mounts
to
to
the car and the base plate and the motorhome. So we have models for our competitors as well as ours that'll work with either one.
Interesting.
And then as far as tow bars, base plates, suspension products, do you guys have authorized service centers to install those?
Absolutely. We offer it at our warehouse. Like I said, for the new customer or a vehicle that hasn't had a base plate designed for it, we'll offer that service there. We have lots of customers that will stop by the warehouse, and we have technicians there that their whole job is to design, engineer, and install stuff. So, we'll do it at the factory. We have limited capacity. We don't have a whole lot of service space. We've got over 450,000 square feet of facility that we work with, but that's manufacturing.
Yeah.
The dealer network that we have set up is excellent. And like I said, we go out and we actually train these dealers to install our products. We know that they're efficient at doing what they're doing. Most of them already know what they're doing, but we're there to support them any way we can and troubleshoot problems if there's anything that ever arises, which could happen. It's Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is Roadmaster located?
We're located in the Northeast. We got 3 facilities out in the Northeast, the Pacific Northeast, Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. We've got a crew. We've got about 450. It's about 480 specialists at what they do.
Okay.
Welding, steel workers, people that operate the press and die cutters, as well as manufacturing, purchasing. Remember, we do everything from soup to nuts.
Yeah.
So we bring in raw material, we take that raw material and convert it into the tow bars and suspension products that come out the other side. So it takes quite a crew, purchasing and specialists that know how to weld and paint and do the sandblasting and cutting of the steel and all that.
And you would never recommend for somebody to try mounting these products themselves, right? It's always better to go to a service center
You
to
always
get
have
that
somebody
done.
else to blame if you have somebody else do the work if something goes wrong. And there's been many a Christmas morning I was putting stuff together. I wish I had somebody to blame. But no, it's always better if you have somebody that's professionally knows how to do the job, just for your safety, just so that it's done. But so we put full instructions on our website, so the customer could, if they want, and there are several that do, install the stuff themselves.
Including the base plate? Because a lot of times the base plate includes like removing your front bumper off your car.
In most cases it does.
Yeah,
But
okay.
there are people out there that are handy with a wrench and they don't mind doing that.
Okay.
And then what kind of, is talking about the tow bar specifically, there's got to be some preventive maintenance that you need to do to make this thing last.
We do. There's several different ways you can do that. There's different manufacturers that do different things to keep them clean or keep, to make them operate professionally. Ours is made with a solid steel inner arm, and the outer arm can be either steel or aluminum.
Okay.
We leave the bars open so you can clean them. You can actually see what's going on with your bars. We have other customers that like to hide it with a boot. Boots are great to keep water out, to keep filth and grime off. But they can also maintain water if it gets in it or condensation, so you don't see what's going on with your bars. We like to be able to visually see that everything's okay and not be surprised by a problem that's hidden by a boot.
Okay.
Okay.
And then how long have you guys found the typical life expectancy of a tow bar?
That's a great question. Years ago, I've been in the industry for a while. It's been on and off since '77. Some time ago, there was a rating that said the tow bars were good for up to 80,000 miles. I've known people to go a lot longer than that, and there's probably people with our tow bars, especially the Stowmaster, that's probably got an original one that came out in the 80s.
Okay.
They just last that long. But your question, I don't know whether that addressed the question. You mind?
It did, yeah. I'm just wondering, when does somebody need to worry about, maybe it's time I need to get this thing replaced?
A lot of factors come into play,
Okay.
which is what I was going to hit on as well. The weather, the environment that you live in. If you're close to the ocean, that salt water is going to affect everything.
Okay.
So a lot of that has to play. But I would say if you inspect it regularly, your bushings and stuff, and you replace those, the tow bar should last a good while.
Okay.
Well over 80,000 miles, I would think nowadays.
Okay.
And earlier you had mentioned that you had different models of tow bars. Is that based on tow capacity as far as weight?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
You've got different designs, and you've got basically you're looking at the capacity that it can tow.
Okay.
That's your main factor, and then price obviously, and how it's going to look, aesthetics once you put it on your car.
So then, is somebody looking at the dry weight of their vehicle? Probably not. I guess their gross weight.
Well, let's say you got that Maverick and you got that empty bed, and you say, well, geez, I'm an antique and I'm going to pick up that China hutch there. So you're going to throw that in because you got room, but then you got room for some other stuff in there. So you can have the potential to really overload.
Yeah.
That. In those cases, when we have customers that have a pickup truck, I like to set them up with a 10,000 pound bar.
Okay.
That way it's overkill, but it'll handle them getting
Whatever.
rambunctious and maybe buying that Harley while they're out.
Yeah.
And throwing it in the
Okay.
back of the truck.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but yeah, every pound extra you add in there That's
That's
extra
right. That's
weight
extra
you need on
towing
that
weight.
tow bar.
Now, with that being said, with that extra weight, you also want to protect your brakes and be safe in there. And slowing down that rig is a big problem when you add extra weight. So, supplemental braking systems, which we also manufacture,
Okay.
is required in most states. Up to they have a weight limit in each state where you can tow up to 2,000 or 3,000 pounds before you actually need a supplemental brake system. Um, at Roadmaster, we're concerned with the safety of our customer. If you've got a vehicle towed behind you and God forbid something happens and it comes loose, we want to make sure that car can stop on its own and not find something to stop it. So a supplemental braking system should be required on every vehicle that's being towed.
Yeah.
I like the way you say that.
Yeah.
So you guys really are a one-stop shop for tow bars, suspension in a motor coach.
That's correct. Most people don't realize the majority of our business is in the suspension products. And it's a great segue into a new product that we have, which is a Comfort Ride suspension system for towables, fifth wheels, and travel trailers.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
That part of our business is growing in leaps and bounds. We manufacture for other companies the sway bars and stuff that they put their name on and put it in the EMT rescue equipments. A lot of the manufacturers, and I'd be brave enough to say over 90% of the ambulances out there have our sway bars.
Oh, okay.
It's a very big thing when they need to work inside that vehicle as they're traveling down the road
Yeah.
to keep it from bouncing their techs all around
Yeah.
while they're working on a patient. So stability is real important to that. And we supply for most ambulances, the F-Series, E-Series van type ambulances, they're sway bars for.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in many years ago. I was an EMT, and when you're trying to shove an IV into somebody
And you're getting bounced
and you're
around.
bounced around, yeah, it's not a good
No, it's not.
thing.
And our products, the sway bars, for every eighth of an inch that you go in diameter or increase that, improves the ride, the handleability by 30%.
Oh, wow.
So you can take it so far. You can't take it all the way up and get 300% improvement over here. But you have a limit to how far you can go. But it controls the body roll and the sway that you get, as you're going down the road.
Yeah.
And then in turn, you're up in the front doing this, and the driver's okay because he's hanging on to the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But the wife's over there waiting up on everything.
Yeah.
So it really improves that. And we hear that a lot from the customers.
And talk a little bit more about the towable products.
The towable, thank you. I'm very excited about our Comfort Ride product. Travel trailers and fifth wheels are basically buckboards. They're axles on leaf springs, and all that vibration, all that energy being thrown at it from potholes and railroad joints and bridge joints and stuff. You think about it, when you travel over, you have a truck and you got a big fifth wheel. You travel over there, bridge joints, let's say railroad tracks. You go over and your truck kind of glides over it. You feel it, but it kind of glides over. That trailer hits it, and it's like it's going to rip your bumper right off. It's a hard knock when you hit that. Our products, what we did with Comfort Ride is we have a slipper spring box and leaf springs that have a hook on them that ride on a roller. So now, instead of an equalizer, which is a triangle with one center point pivot point, reacting, so when you go over, the first axle reacts, the second axle is reacting because the first one hit the bump and is connected to that equalizer. Okay, so the second axle does action it doesn't really need to do.
Okay.
By putting the slipper springs in with it, we're now disconnecting those springs from connecting to the equalizer, so now it's independent suspension. You have one axle.
Interesting.
You go over a bump on one axle and it never affects the other axle.
Interesting.
The shocks do what they're supposed to do and buffer all the energy coming up from the road when you hit those potholes, which are illegal now, right? They don't have potholes anywhere in the country. That's what I heard. But the railroad joints and all that stuff, or gravel roads as you're going into, all have an effect. Now, when you hit a pothole, we'll call that a impact bump, okay? With our products installed on there, you're decreasing the energy that comes from the road into your unit by 94%.
Wow.
That was from the Forest Rivers test track, and seeing what the gauges the different energy that's sent through the unit. So that in turn, as you're driving down the road and you think about it, that every time you hit a bump, there's vibration. You know, if you don't have things strapped down, people tie rags around their handles to keep the doors closed, to keep the stuff falling out. They don't hang their clothes on the closet, you know, the walk-in closet. They throw them on the floor. They're going to wind up there anyway,
Exactly.
right? With our product, you don't have to do so much there. You don't have to worry about the furniture walking around if you didn't get it strapped down, because now you don't have that small earthquake happening back there and things are riding. It's very good for extending the life. Your seams and your seals are breaking prematurely.
That's what I was thinking, more than the furniture and the clothing and stuff. I was just thinking of the actual structure of your towable. And
well, you know, manufacturers put the steel backers. It always cracked me up. It's steel backers on the walls to hang the cabinets on, so they have something they can put the screws through. Well, it really equates to about tinfoil on the back of Luan. So it's still going to go through that brutal bouncing around, and all the vibration, the shock that you get from the road is just ripping those things apart over long. So you're extending the life of your trailer. Now, the shock system that we have, the shocks are mounted on an angle, so it prevents body roll, which is a major contributor for sway. So it actually helps with the control and the handling of the fifth wheel or travel trailer. So we're very excited about the product. It's being well received. I go out and I actually physically help turn wrenches and bust a knuckle with my customers to help them install it, to make sure the customers, they know how to do it and the customers are satisfied with the product.
Yeah, I'm a fifth wheel owner, and there's between Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas on I-10. I refuse to drive that road because I just feel like the bed of my truck's going to come off, the RV's going to fall apart because of that. What you just said, that you hit a bump and
you'd be surprised at the difference. And I encourage you, come on by the booth. I'll show it to you. It's an excellent product. It's well worth taking a closer look at, because the fifth wheels nowadays, some of them are $110,000, $119,000.
Yeah,
that's a major investment for most people. So if you've got a product that will help extend the life of that unit, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
And how new is that? How long have you guys been doing that?
We've been doing that. This has been, I think it's on our second year going on.
Okay, very new.
Offering, so it's a relatively new product, and we're coming up with newer devices. Another one I'm very excited about is our Exact Center device, which improves the handling of a Jeep. If you're towing it, it replaces the damper that's in the front of the Jeep Wrangler or the Gladiator. But it's also an improved reflex steering stabilizer with struts instead of shock and spring to control the handleability of the motorhome.
Interesting.
Protection, crosswind protection, and minimizing that driver fatigue. Having an exact center where you turn the wheel and it comes back to the exact center instead of a fuzzy center.
I never thought, Kenny, to look at companies like Roadmaster for my fifth wheel, for things that will improve the ride of my fifth wheel. So I'm glad we had this conversation today. Actually,
that's a very good point, because most people know us for our tow bars.
Exactly,
they are an excellent product.
Right.
But if you look at the whole scheme, everything that Roadmaster does, I mean, we've got a lot of products that benefit. It's aftermarket products for the RV industry. Jerry Edwards has been in this since the 70s. But even before that, he was involved in manufacturing. He's a genius as far as how things get built and the amount of time it takes and the manpower and reducing the cost and the overhead and all that.
Yeah.
So it's phenomenal. I admire the man for his knowledge in that area.
And this is things that you can buy here at the FMCA? Absolutely. You guys selling right here?
That's part of the thing with FMCA. We have a contract with them, and they can purchase, any of the FMC members can purchase anything from us direct here. And we have the service truck out there. We'll actually install it. Now, if we didn't have that, they could still buy, let's say, a base plate that we don't have here. We'll ship it to them, and they can take it to their favorite installer or their local RV dealer to have it installed.
And on I assume on your website, you have a list of locations that do service your products?
Absolutely. You can find it there. You can call our 800 number. It's 800-966-9690. And the customer service representative there that'll help you identify the products that you want. Well, actually, we can sell them to you. You can get it installed there. But we have a dealer search engine on our site that lists all the dealers in a specific area. So you can find it on our website. Most dealers, even if they're not listed as a Roadmaster dealer, can and will install our products.
Oh, okay.
you don't need as long as the technicians know what they're doing, they can install it. Our instructions are well enough that the end user can install it, so the dealers can install it. It's a matter of preference, though.
Okay.
They usually install what the customer requests. You know, you want to satisfy the customer first.
Yeah.
So
if you're happy with your current service center, even if you don't see them on your website, talk to them and see if they can.
Absolutely.
If they can.
And
do
it's
it.
always best to go to your local dealer. The big guys are great and all that, and they're become the local dealers now. But some of these mom and pops that have been around for years, they're trusted RV, service centers and dealers. It's somebody you can reach out and touch because it's in your local community. I suggest doing that, especially with the motorhome. You're going to need that support, over the course of the life of your RV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a question for you. It might be a curveball question. I'm not sure. But the suspension setup that you're talking about for the fifth wheels and towables, have you guys talked to some of the manufacturers about having them pre-installed at the factory that a customer could just...
do.
They
this
do?
Is, this is not something that we developed. This is something we took over production on. So
Oh,
they do the
gotcha.
manufacturing. On the, to the manufacturers or the OEM side, the product is labeled under Patriot Rider, which is a spring and leaf spring and shock system. And that's been out for quite some time, but we took over, because we're efficient in our manufacturing, we took over that part of it.
Oh, okay. So people could be purchasing the RV from the lot with it already installed.
Well, in some cases, Forest River is one that will upgrade the Cardinals with that suspension product, and it's offered as an upgrade on some of the Forest River products
Nice.
already. Yep.
Okay.
But now it's available for any, because our design is designed to basically use the same hanger as the equalizer and just replace it bolting right onto it. So it's a nice upgrade for any camper.
Okay. Well, this has been great. I
Learning
really
some
appreciate
stuff.
you taking your time,
I
and
appreciate you guys.
I think we're going to have to spend some more time at your booth. And
I would definitely come by. I'd love to show you the comfort ride system. It sounds like it would be beneficial for you. And I have several customers I can turn you on to that have been ecstatic over the handling difference.
Yeah.
And it will extend the life of that RV.
Yeah. So everybody, go check out the Roadmaster booth if you're here at the FMCA rally in Tucson. And if not, definitely go to their website and see all the products they have to offer and take part in improving your ride.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Mark.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, guys.
We want to thank you for listening to our interviews from day 2 of the FMCA rally in Tucson. Nel is always a fantastic guest, and you can tell she is really passionate about RV travel and getting everyone to enjoy it. You can hear more about Fantasy RV Tours by listening to episode 86 of the podcast with Nel. Also, I'm sure Kenny will have more to say about the company after his trip with them to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta later this year. Roadmaster is also a company that is passionate about RV travel. As you heard, they are doing everything possible to make towing easier for both motorhomes and towables. Kenny has had a Roadmaster tow bar since he has owned an RV, and like you heard, they inspected his tow bar while at the rally and recommended some maintenance to get the full life out of the product. As always, a huge thank you to Battleborn Batteries. We appreciate everything they do for us, the RV industry, and most importantly, the environment. Check out what they have to offer using the link in the show notes. We also want to thank our new partner, Wholesale Warranties. If you think your RV is too old to get an extended warranty, or if you think it is going to be too expensive, go to the link in our show notes and get a free quote from them. You may be surprised at what you find out. As we all know, RV repairs can be very expensive, so having some protection for your wallet is always a good idea. Thanks again, everyone, and safe travels.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.